Hello, welcome. For today's podcast, we thought we'd do something a little different, extracting the best from every day with Dr. John MacKay. But today we're going to do a little tutorial on something fun that you can do at home. And people really like that because it's, time for spring vacation as well as time for a lot of educational things that became happening. What we're going to do today is we're going to discuss some of the challenges that you have for the decarboxylation of THCA or CBDA, as well as the volatility of terpenes, especially monoterpenes. As you well know, when you're smelling something like an orange plant, or walking through a pine forest, or you're smelling roses, each one of those has the volatility of fragrances. And certainly the terpenes, when you're thinking about the fragrances of cannabis, you smell those different fragrances, and that gives you some awareness of the different properties that a cannabis plant can have, for example. So what we thought we'd do today is do a couple of fun experiments to show how that works. We call this experiment Educational Kitchen Chemistry for Explaining Terpenes and Extraction and Decarboxylation. So that's what we're going to do. You can see some of the information that's down there as far as the Dr. John A. MacKay Institute of Extraction Technology that we're co-hosting with Extraction Magazine. The story begins a while ago, probably, I'm going to say 8 years ago, with a pen that I purchased, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was kind of techie. And what would happen is it says, change your mind, erase your mistakes, and you could use the pen. And with that pen, you could erase it if you made a mistake. And it's just a matter of rubbing the ink on the other side with what I assumed was just an eraser. One day, I had put my business papers in the backseat of the car and had used the pen during the meetings, and came back later in the afternoon after a hot summer day and found that my papers were blank. What was writing there was no longer writing. And so there was nothing. I was really puzzled by that. I go to the store to find out, what happened. And it turns out there was no recovery of that ink because it had already been on the paper and volatilized. And so I saw on the backside, it says, don't expose to extreme temperatures less than -14 degrees Fahrenheit, greater than 140. And if it does reach that, it goes colorless. And it did go colorless, which you could also walk through that same experiment and being able to see it, put it in the freezer and out of the freezer. So it was years later that I found that this was a great explanation for talking about terpenes. If you increase the temperature, the terpenes went away because they were volatile. Same thing happens with decarboxylation, with heat or with light. The decarboxylation will take place from THCA to THC or CBDA to CBD. So I thought we'd explain that experiment today and have something that you can have fun at home. We wrote this up in November, December of 2020 in the publication of Extraction Magazine, and you'll find it in this Extraction Magazine and be online, be able to grab the copy and also look at what else can be, seen in that great magazine. What you need a plain white piece of paper. You need at least one flex iron pen. You need a normal pen. You need a hair dryer, a drawing of CBDA or THCA, and also writing on a piece of paper with terpenes and another written in cannabinoids. You also need a piece of duct tape or something to hold the piece of paper down, as you can see up the top, because when you start to blow with the hot air on the hair dryer, it's going to blow around the rod. So you're going to want to have something secured. Now you tape the piece of paper to the table. Try not to destroy some furniture in the meantime, and then draw this molecule. There's a couple of things that are very interesting on this molecule that we want to explore. And one of them is the carboxylic acid group up here. And then the other one is the A on the CBDA. If we write these two with the flex ion pen, and the rest of the molecule with a normal pen, the A also with the flex ion pen, then what's going to happen when you heat it is magic will occur. The first magic that occurs is that both of these flex ion pen molecules in writing will disappear. What that now leaves you with after you've heated it up with the pen is just the CBD and the CBD molecule. So in essence, what you've done is you've taken and done the magic showing what happens with decarboxylation. You remove the carboxylic acid group and you remove the A on CBD. And that's kind of fun. The other one you can do is you can write terpenes, again with the flex ion pen, and write cannabinoids with a normal pen. Now, when you heat it, again, this part up here is going to go away because it's being heated by that flex ion pen, and the cannabinoids would stay, which is exactly what would happen if you doing too aggressive of a extraction, or you're not caring about the terpenes and use plenty of heat, then these will go away and they won't be in your final mixture. And that's another fun experiment to do. This is a picture of it in action. And you can see as the heat of the hair dryer is going onto the paper, again, the taped paper, the terpenes slowly go away. Now you have a number of different fun experiments you can do. You can say, well, what if I don't want to put it on the highest heat? What will that heat do? So you can look at experiments based on the temperature. Because you know it's not airflow. And you can also have it banked on how far away it is the hair dryer. Because that also impacts the temperature on the terpenes. This one might be more like the sun or the wind. This one might be more towards aerial extraction and having too much heat. So that was our fun experiment for today, and hope you enjoy it. We'd like to hear back from you to see what kind of fun you had with it, what kind of reaction you had when you were showing other people it, what kind of other fun experiments you did based on that variation would be great. And so look forward to seeing you next time, and extracting the best from every day with Dr. John MacKay. See you soon.